All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Chihayafuru, Season 2, Episode 4.
Shinobu backstory maybe, and Arata connection?
I wasn't even thinking about that. I mean, maybe we have Shinobu coming back. That's exciting.
Right.
But yeah, we just had also the whole stuff with Akihiro, like his brothers and everything.
Yep.
Actually getting to be pretty dang cool.
Elevated to that similar level of characterization that we have for Sumire. So,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yes,
and also just a fun thing to have, like a family situation brought in that's actually somewhat wholesome. Like, you know,
you don't get those often in anime.
we just don't have that in this show. Like, that's literally just not a thing in this show here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Pardon me. We have an awesome mom for Kana. She's
Right.
awesome.
Yes.
But she is the sole single, like,
Right. Yeah.
wholesome family connection thing in here.
Yeah,
because
Taichi's mom. Chihaya's whole situation with her family.
Or they just kind of favor the sister.
Right,
because of
and
the
never give her
modeling thing
any
and being-
recognition or appreciation.
Yeah.
And then
they had
Arata-
the cool thing with the scrapbook for her, but it
Yeah.
was like, oh, good, we actually got something.
Right,
you know,
like basic parenting. Good job. Yeah.
Right.
And then you have Arata, where it's the tragic death.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's like the only like family member that we really focus on from his family is the
Yeah.
one that died.
Yeah, so in this case, we've got these little guys who are like, you're
Little
our hero,
gremlins.
big bro. Like, you
Yeah.
can do this, man. We believe in you.
Oh, it's so cool the way he licks his lips like that.
Right,
I'm
right.
gonna do the exact same thing.
Right, because in their small, pond, he was the big fish. And
Yeah.
now they're like, Chihaya, you're amazing. Like, they completely moved their hero worship to like, she's so fast.
You have already been forgotten.
Exactly.
So you must get stronger. You must be a stronger character player. That way you can win
That's-
their affections back and
that's
be the
true.
hero that they need and deserve and desire.
And they know you to be.
Right.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
もう3回忌か
今でも和田屋先生
おー
聞こえてくる
あとだけちょい早く帰るか
あんたそれ今お供えしたばかりだ
Damn.
Wow.
No.
ちゃんと仲悪かったの超わかるわ
じいちゃんに嫌われてたのは単に俺がカルタに
He said that out loud. Wow.
東京に職探して新たに転校までさせて
Oh.
Oh.
友達もできたんやで
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then
then you ripped it away.
Yeah.
Like later.
高校選手権の東京の予選今日なんやろ
Okay.
お友達頑張ってるかな
Well, these are his parents.
あ前ほどは
nope.
お前がもっと
Not that often at all.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Dad giving good advice. Yeah.
気はせんけど
携帯電話ってすごいねパササギみたいだね
Well, okay, one in particular, but like, just because they haven't forgotten about you doesn't mean the relationship can't be better.
携帯電話でない俺らにとってのカササギは父ちゃん母ちゃんもし俺が高校選手権優勝したらお願いがあるんや
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
shit. Okay.
いやー楽しみだな予選はもう軽く突破だろうからね
Those gesticulations. He's such a kid sometimes.
彼はどうしてなんだろうね、練習で見る限り彼にはもう永久の実なぜ大会で勝ちきれないのか
Maybe he's not being honest with himself about why he wants this.
で真島君と会ったんで応援してたんですけどないんです
Oh, he just has bad matchups. Yep.
That
Yep.
sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
これ食べてください
Is she gonna be his good luck charm?
Maybe. I know she wants to be.
俺は食うぞ次の試合に勝てばいよいよ全国大会だからな
万全を尽くしたって負けるときは負けるだからこそせめて万全を
順調みたいだねよかったよかった
Yeah.
ありがとうございます
Oh.
もちろん千早ちゃんたちの応援に来たんだけど
Mm.
今年はそれだけじゃないだろうまだ知らないのかい
行くぞお前ら
Oh no. Oh no.
ダークホース透明だ
坪口さん
Oh, what?
Okay.
完全にノーマークだったよ
去年のデータも
何がそんなにヤバいんですか
New blood.
の名人戦東日本代表で
Oh no.
所属
Oh.
花見会の
Okay.
ちはや聞いてたか
She's fangirling, yes.
Yep.
She's
Sorry,
excited to
bro.
play
I
him.
really don't.
先生の言ってたことが全部当たって
姿勢変えたらスムーズに腕が出せるように。
リフだ教えてもらって
Crush his children.
Yep. We have to force someone to die against him, you know?
Well, I don't know if he's actually playing. I think he might just
No,
be
there's
the
only
one that-
4 people in yellow. Oh,
No, there's
no,
five.
no, there's 5.
Yeah.
でも
Ah, but him training them means
Right.
they could be cracked, yeah.
They could be.
試合バラバラ
No way to predict them.
去年のチャンピオン水沢さん
Well, if they change orders every match, you could try and base your order off of one of their
よく知ってる
use one of their old orders since they're not gonna do it again,
誰が一番強いんだ
or they probably won't do it
す
again.
るためのうちのオーダーは
Dang, he looked the exact same back then.
頑張ってね。これ買ってきたの。
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
すみませんオーダー組まないとくそ時間が
So they're already in the semifinals, and they just need to clinch these next 2 matches.
個人戦は団体戦団体戦は個人戦だよ
Harada Sensei always knows what to say to confuse people so that they figure it out halfway through the next match.
Exactly. See, this is why he has bad luck, because you're a lot more clear and straightforward with Chihaya.
C リーグは加瀬高も栄光大附属も強いとこだったのに。坪口さんが教えて強くなったのかな。
Oh,
They did
yeah.
seem to put the most socially anxious one of them on the
やばいめっ
outside.
ちゃ好み
Oh!
試合終わったら携帯教えてよ
No! Stop it, Chihaya!
千早ちゃんは浮いた話に免疫がない
Damn!
No! Snap out of it!
試合が始まれば千早ちゃんがカルタバカに戻るのも知っている
どうしようどうしよう。
せこい千早の性格利用するなんて作戦だって分かってんだよ坪口さん
Nah, the voice acting.
水沢のエースは千早ちゃんだが精神的支柱はまつげくんだ君はまあ
Wage psychological warfare.
いいのかい睨むべきはこっちかい
Oh.
Oh no. She's actually pretty good.
読める人5人集めるの大変でしたよ。
おおすごいじゃないか
わびぬれば
なんだ今の変なまま彼は素人か
Oh.
星野君は有資格者であわんとぞも
He was off on the timing.
Yeah.
今度は早い
田代君 B 級公認の資格取ったばかりで読みの正しいリズムが取れてい
Oh
ない
my god.
水沢に不利。前と似ているところがある。音楽が正しい呼吸でないと。
Yeah. Yeah.
前えません。
集中して1枚リズム作ろう
Good job, Taichi.
Okay.
He's already aware that he's doing badly.
Right, and that'll probably make him do worse.
Cool. He actually
隼人西田は大丈夫だ
he actually did a not bad timing on that one there.
坪口さんが教えてるだけあって配置が見慣れた感じ。攻めがれたわ私も。
強い彼女とかいいよね気に入りそうで
意識は敵陣右下段。
見かき氷
Damn.
Yeah.
Taking one of his cards.
マークの薄い札をこぼさず取ってこっちが狙ってる札を送ってくる。
嫌なところきっちり教えてるぜ坪口さんやばい手遅れた
It's okay, Taichi. It's okay.
You got this. Just stay
Don't mind.
cool.
Don't mind.
突っ込んじゃいけない気がする
高さん来ると思ったもんね
What?
呪いなんだろうこの人
Isn't that illegal to have her hands like stretching at that part there?
I'm guessing it's something she just does in between, then gets them into position. But
Yeah. But she's obstructing view of the cards.
oh yeah,
That
that's
seems kind of dirty.
yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
救世主が
Huh?
カルタは楽しいぞ
Huh?
一生懸命は楽しいぞ
びっくりした。私だけじゃなかったことに。
Her eyes are always so wide.
天のやっ
ぱり来た。
狙い札が連続
ある
よし来た。
まつげくんは自分に足りないのは運だなんて思ってない
He's in his own head.
実力だと逃げず
He
に
needs confidence.
なんで
He needs aura.
坪口さんが教え始めて2ヶ月で
No, it's
That-
all psychological.
Yeah.
That's literally
Instruction
impossible.
has nothing to do with guessing cards.
繰り返すと
センスの差
取りつかれる努力を嘲笑う才能がないという思いに
I mean, yeah, high pressure situation. You're not necessarily thinking clearly.
No.
Oh, sure, that maybe because the reader's doing it badly.
Nice.
Yeah, get outside your own head.
Wow. The negative self-talk, like,
Coming in from
back
everywhere.
hard.
All right, he's gonna think talent again, and yep. Okay, now third time in Shoarata. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Roll
Taichi.
threes.
That's what you have to face.
Oh my god.
Wow. I mean, everyone has off days.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That feels like such a noob trap thing. Like, it only
Yeah.
work against an actual, like, inexperienced player.
Well, basically, and maybe this is where the luck part of it comes in. But that Taichi is in his own head right now, and that's why it's working.
Right.
He has his own issues.
To help the air conditioning turn on, like, complain about it.
Yeah. Because she's, like, focusing on him or something.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's rough.
No, that's targeted. Like, that's... Yeah. I'm gonna make a noise in here. Like...
Yeah.
All the women on this side just immediately...
Just tossed them.
Oh, and Chihaya as well.
That clueless look on her face.
Smile.
Yeah. Wait, was something wrong?
Yeah, the only one he took.
Mm-hmm.
Bro needs to wear a sweatband, pull his hair back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Her
what she's
bang
doing.
strat is actually like...
Yeah. The bangs help with brooding, but they don't help with Karata.
Yep. Alright, now time to guard.
Yep.
He's playing an individual match as well. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah! Ah!
Because you can't... While you want
Beautiful.
to help them, you can't afford to spend time thinking about them. Ah, nice. Okay. Good job.
That's
Yeah.
right, you are!
Yeah! Oh. And now he's caught up. Yeah, okay.
Yes!
Just taking him
Yes! 4 up! 5 up!
out. You're a third-rate duelist with a
Systematic.
fourth-rate deck. Oh, she's doing the same thing he did.
Yep.
All right, cool. And that's how Taichi's luck can be brought into play.
Yeah. No, this is odds. This is just odds at this point. Wait, that's way too many cards. Why are you thinking about all those cards?
All the ones that have been read, maybe, so that he knows if
the
there's a
dud
dead card.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit, his memory!
Uh-huh.
Yes! Let's go, Taichi!
Basically being an errata right now.
And he hit the exact specific one. He didn't go
But
for
also-
the sweep. He went for that, like, exact master. Very cool. Yeah, who knows? She's like, I threw! Hi, you had a rough matchup.
残り札は何枚だった？もう95枚読まれてて、空札もなしです。最後のあの札、一時決まりになっていたのに。
Oh.
Dang.
Nice.
読まれた札の把握の正確さで後半は差が。
Holy shit.
Okay.
ここまでの暗記、毎日すっ
That's skill right there.
Uh-huh.
ありがとうございました。
Huh?
手お返しします。
Huh?
いいのよ太一くん。
No. Yeah.
あんだけモテるなら
Oh.
油断ならない。綾瀬先輩も
Oh.
かどうかは謎だけど。
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's interesting. If she acknowledges Chihaya's...
次は東京一の
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
必ず全力で来る。
But they don't have
全力で勝つ。
they don't have some of their third years from last year. So
Right, sure. But what's really cool
Any of
about
their
this
third years
is
from last year.
Chihaya obviously doesn't understand romantic feelings.
No.
But she could still have them without understanding them.
Right. And that's where I think it could actually be sort of a like love triangle where even though we know the outcome of it, right? But the idea that like when Taichi did the thing of like, hey, you know, don't just go up to a guy's room.
Well,
you know?
no. I think it's not about the result. It's the idea that she has no romantic feelings for either of them that she's aware of.
Right. Yes.
All of it is through the lens of Karuta.
Yes.
But the way in which she moved towards Taichi, Sumire noticed and recognized, oh, I know what that means.
Oh, absolutely. There's well, and kind of as that callback to the first episode, right? Where
Right.
she sees him, she's like, "Oh, Taichi," you know, and you know, she like glomps onto him, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, there's definitely affection there and everything, right? Like,
Well, I'm not talking about affection, because obviously she has affection towards her team. I'm talking about the kind of speed and, like, immediacy that would make Sumire go, oh,
that's not just regular.
that's
affection.
not just regular affection.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, we had a Taichi-focused episode. Got things really specific with regards to what's going on in his Karuta mental game.
Yep.
Obviously, he's focused a lot on not just himself and his own performance, and that gets him a little bit distracted when it comes to actually playing well.
Right.
But yeah, we had a bunch of other players with higher insight on things, like Tsukubochi and Harada Sensei, kind of giving a little bit of insight into, we can kind of tell what the problem is as well.
And the mental game can be played like in the same way that you can play the mental game, the other team can too, right?
Yeah.
And so if they are people that are less experienced, then yeah, they're going to have to rely more on the mental game, right? Of just, you know, getting under the skin of their opponents and things like that.
Sure.
And especially if their coach is somebody that maybe is very familiar with your team, then they could give them all kinds of little tricks, you know, and tricks that they could do to get under your skin so that hopefully you'll play worse, right?
Yeah, having knowledge of your opponents and just even like not regarding like their personality, but even just the way that they play is a massive advantage than coming against a team where it's like, who are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
we know
don't
who
know.
we know who's teaching them. So you go, oh shit. Well, they're gonna be good enough to be a problem because he's teaching them.
But you can't even go like, oh, this is the person that's the Class A player on their team, right? So even once you get the matchup, you don't know who's best. If your match is going badly, you don't know if that's the best person on their team and good job, you're tanking them for the rest of your, you know, your teammates, or if they're the worst person on the team and you're just getting clapped because you suck that much.
Right, and if you end up then focusing on the rest of your team in order to try and get a grasp on that,
Then
you
you
then might end up not thinking about your match, which I have to say, I'm so glad that Harada Sensei brought up every team match is an individual match. Because it is so backwards and asinine to think about another match at all.
Yep.
Because once the matches have been divvied out and you know who's playing who, it doesn't matter at that point.
It has no effect on you.
The only way it mattered was before when you were trying to line up to guess where they would set up.
Other than that, it's all mental, so forget about it.
Forget about it.
Like, maybe only think about it in the sense of, like, see if you beating this person can have an effect on the enemy team. Like, that's basically
and
it.
the better in Karuta you get, the less that's going to matter.
Right.
Because the mental side of things is not going to affect them as much.
Yep.
They're just gonna be built different in that regard. Like
Yeah.
everyone's human in this regard.
Right,
And
but-
obviously we have situations where people can just be unlucky, where like, oh no, the air conditioner specifically above the reigning champions team's placement was off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels a bit sus.
It's just the kind of thing where it's like, okay, it's obviously being played off in the story as bad luck, but when you play enough sports,
Yeah.
you start to realize that there's usually gray areas where cheating isn't happening, but tactical advantages are being taken.
Sure, like if okay, there's an air conditioner that doesn't work, and some people find out about that and it hasn't been fixed yet. All right,
we're gonna sit over in that corner.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna claim that spot over there.
Yep. Like maybe a team that played underneath that air conditioner earlier is like, yeah, that's not working. We had to deal with it. No one's come by to fix it. Cool. We'll sit somewhere else, or maybe we'll even tell some of the other teams, hey, you should sit here.
You should sit here. Yeah. A great example of this in games that I play with Ultimate Frisbee and stuff is that if you have info on another player, you can go and watch them and be like, oh, this is their star player. Like,
Sure.
You can go and smother them. But another thing that happens a lot is basically because it's a non-contact sport, there's no real actual punishment for contact. Like, there's no actual, like, you're ejected from the game or what have you.
Okay.
So what can end up happening sometimes is people will, like you'll see it. They'll just be a little bit more physically intense with that one or two players specifically.
Gotcha.
And it's like, is that intentional? Maybe not.
Yeah.
We have no way of knowing.
Right.
But does it potentially force injuries on that player? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Damn.
yeah. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, who's to say? Who's to say? Yeah.
Right, because if
Yeah.
it's just something of just being that slight bit less careful.
Right. Because if it's happening with the entire team, you then be like, okay, we need to talk about this. Clearly your team is like
Right, but if it's
playing
just,
dirty
it
here.
happens with a person.
Once or twice.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the like, right, and it's nothing overt or egregious or anything like that. Then it's just the,
that stuff happens,
Right, yeah,
Right. So that was just one thing where I like that it was played off as bad luck, but I'm wary about this sport because of the lack of referees. And
sure.
as a person that plays in a sport with no referees, basically until you get to the super high level, there's ways in which people cheat out some things here and there.
And like the example.
And this is obviously not that. I'm just bringing that up.
But they also brought up another example of something going badly in a way that could absolutely give teams an unfair advantage of the reader doing it badly.
Yes,
right.
I'm glad we brought that up.
And there's both the element of just he's fairly new at this, so he's not as experienced, and so he messes up, and he's nervous and all that stuff, right? And that would affect the inexperienced players less than the experienced ones, right? But then there's also the idea of it's possible, even though I don't think it's likely in the show, right? But it's theoretically possible that there could be some element of he has a favorite team or something like that, or whatever, right?
Yeah, I don't know if a reader could specifically have that issue. I think that's again more of a thing of where like, it's going to affect certain players more than others, and thus if there's any kind of stuff like it, it's more just that some people might not be a fan of the people that are winning, or the people they are a fan of the people that are the underdogs or something. But having also different readers come in, I think that's actually a sign of good play, meaning that they're actually doing a point to make sure that if you've like studied the way a reader like reads, you're not going to be able to know that as much going into a tournament, because it's probably also random as to which reader reads at which point.
On top of just the idea that the readers will absolutely need to rest their voices and all that stuff. So, over the course of, some 6-hour or 8-hour tournament or whatever. But
having more team matches is also always fun. I love that we're getting another example of a player whose influence extends beyond the actual like play field. So like this guy Tsukubochi being someone that's been in the sport for well over a decade, and now is in the coach kind of position. I think it's something that's cool to see Chihaya look at him so fondly, because this is the kind of thing that she would want to do.
Right,
as
she
her
mentioned
career.
I'll come back to the school and be a coach, and it's so this is kind of her being like, okay, this is what my path in life might look like. Yeah.
Right, and it's cool to see that like someone can do this, and even though it does seem like the players that he's got here are not necessarily anything special, because the episode didn't choose to focus on any of them having specific actual like Karuta talents, other than that they're fully adopted the tricks and tactics that Sugabochi can bring in from a pro
They are
standpoint.
eager students.
That's the point that's being brought up, is that they all have the passion. They all have the desire to put their hardest effort into this. And that's really all someone like Chihaya would need, is that as long as they're dedicated, focused, and passionate about this, she could download so much good stuff into them, even if she's not that great of a communicator. Like,
Just the idea of like, because I almost feel like Chihaya's one of those characters where it's my entire life is this thing, right? Like that's how fully obsessed I am with it. And so my ability to connect with people is directly proportional to their ability to invest in this sport that I play, right?
Right.
And Taichi has picked up on that, and that's one of the reasons why he's like, okay, I need to make Class A and all that stuff, right? You know, and keep going, struggler, right?
Yeah.
But from the perspective of Chihaya's just regular life, right? Seeing someone who's able to be a coach like this and get a bunch of connections with these students who really want to learn. It's cool. I'm not just gonna be that lonely weird person with the track pants, in the hallway at school, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm actually going to be able to have, my own little club and people that I can interact with and, be like, oh yeah, you're going to get passionate alongside me.
Sure.
Awesome. Because I just want to play this till the day I die as much as humanly possible. And so if that ends up being something that you end up matching, and so then that ends up being a way that I can teach you, fantastic, right? Like that is my shit. I don't want anything more than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then just rounding off this discussion, Taichi's memorization being brought back up as a legit talent that he has.
Yep.
And it was the thing that won him the match handedly.
Right.
Even after he had been effectively throwing for the majority of the game. It came down to okay, cool. I know what cards have been read.
And there are no more dead cards.
And there are no more, not only dead cards, but all these 2 syllables are actually 1 syllables.
Right. That's
which is
ridiculous.
Is the kind of thing that says, if you want to win, high level Karuta, take Class A. The top level players are probably going to be doing some form of this, because if you weren't, you're basically leaving cards entirely on the table to anyone that has a modicum of speed.
And with that, 2%, like top 2% kind of a thing, and that's the variation, and that's, night and day, when you're playing at that high level. Yeah, the difference of 2 cards, that's 10% of your cards that you need to take, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that that's probably the other thing that I'm really liking as we get more and more into Karuta, is that it is an actually really balanced sport in that the higher your skill level goes, the astronomically large difference it's going to show on the actual playmat, on the playmat there. But also, if you have someone that's both like crazy high skill talent and crazy high speed and everything like that, the match actually should be really close. Even with external factors that are going to be slightly slanting towards a specific person, it's not going to be then a 5 to 20 card blowout or something. It's going to be it'll be 5 cards difference maybe at the highest point.
Right, barring the situations like with the master or whatever, where he's like, I have, a billion cards that are 1-syllable cards for me, right? Everyone's going off of the same cues. I'm going to bring up a fencing example for this. There's this idea of feel of the blade, where basically you stay relaxed so that way you can know what the person's doing as their body makes the motions to do it, because your blades are in contact.
Right.
And that's basically, and the difference between the people who are really good and the ones who aren't are basically the people who are able to get a sense for that, right? And so they're effectively getting the reading of the card before anyone else.
Yeah.
But given that in a situation like this, the reading is very binary, barring the extreme case of the master, everyone knows what the cards are. Everyone knows what the cue is, right?
Yeah.
They might not be able to remember.
If you didn't know that, you are not on the
Right,
You
exactly.
were not even in competition, basically. Yeah.
And so as and then especially if you can get into the, okay, I'm keeping track of how many 2-syllable cards there are, and all but one has been called, so this one is actually a 1-syllable card now. Then, like, great, you're gonna win.
Oh, right, and if basically every person that's playing this sport has a general ability to do that, because I would say that for the most part, that's something that maybe not everybody does to a flawless execution, but they do it maybe for enough cards that they run the numbers and they go, okay, cool. I only need to have this for 75% of the cards.
Sure.
I don't need to memorize all of them to win. Like, most people aren't going to be able to keep 100% of them in their heads. And so even if at the top level, they all do this, Taichi, I'll bet you $1,000,000 that most people in the Class A level don't do this to 100% of the cards.
Right.
They do this to a overwhelming majority so that they can win.
The fact that you're doing this is, like, that's not something where it's then the discouragement of, and I'm not even in Class A. No. You're effectively playing at a Class A level right now. You just haven't gotten to the point where you've actually made it into Class A yet, right?
Right.
Because you haven't won the tournament,
Yeah, and there's definitely something to be said for if there's a character in this story that has something that they're passionate about more than Karuta right now, that's Taichi. And that's because it's Chihaya.
Right.
And so, if this is a story about Taichi slowly but surely melding his passion for Chihaya with Karuta, and he can actually bring them into alignment together, I think not only will he be a pretty happy and satisfied person, even if, their relationship doesn't blossom that way.
Yeah.
But also, it'll be the kind of thing that will make Chihaya potentially also actually look towards him favorably, because Sumire saw a look, and if Sumire is being brought into the story, it's not because she's going to steal Taichi's heart.
No. She is relationship commentator and observer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means we can take what she says
as being pretty darn accurate.
Exactly. As being like, not just, emphatic, direct,
right.
Like
there is no one of a higher
ability to
authority
comment
right now.
Correct. There we
show.
Go. Yes.
It's, while she might not be like pure voice of God, she is the only voice God has right now. Right?
In this godless world for Taichi.
So,
oh, poor guy.
So something's there, right?
Whoa, yeah. Actually, this just turns into a side story of Toradora where she's like, I'm going to help you.
Well, no, but that's...
I'm going to help you in your...
Well, but using Toradora as the example, that's what Ami is, the model girl, right?
No, totally.
So it's like
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Yep. Like, this is the kind of thing that could go very well then for Taichi. I think just... As the episode was about Taichi has bad luck, Taichi has bad luck, Taichi has bad luck, the episode ended with, wait, Taichi, there is hope. No, and straight up, that's my point, is that the episode, anytime an episode of anime is started and ended, that is a decision of an adaptation.
Yes.
It is not usually so direct in that it is based exactly when a chapter ends. Sorry, that's not true. A lot of times it's like that. But sometimes it's also this also would be a point like a little bit before the chapter ends that actually would make a much better
what are we going to highlight is the
because you can cut things off here and there.
So
this was basically how they decided to end the episode.
All right, so I'm going to go into a bit of theory discussion that also will involve another show that I won't name for the sake of spoilers.
Sure.
But another show that had an orange-haired boy that was hopelessly in love, that had no hope whatsoever in the meta standpoint from my mind, but actually did end up, being the canon end character. If we get a situation like that with Taichi, goddamn.
Well, I think this is kind of one of those stories personally where it doesn't have to have an end of a romantic kind. No, really.
Okay.
I think the reason why is because in order for that to happen, Chihaya would have to change as a character. And I mean,
yes.
not just grow. I'm talking like hard pivot 90 degrees. Like,
well, and that's
like,
why that's one of the ways,
that's why I think that in a lot of ways it's more that he blends his passion for the two things, or for her
Totally.
together, so that she can then build a connection that is not just based around their Karuta and also the amount of time that they've spent together.
Well, so
but that it would be like, oh wait, I am feeling something here, and I don't know exactly what this is, but it's something that I've always like kind of felt, but I never really had a way to clarify like what that is.
Yeah.
And I think that until Arata gets brought back into the story, which he is basically in the story, but I meant he will be brought back into the more full main kind of group story here. I think this is a very good sign for
I think
boy.
so. I think so too, because
Taichi.
it's the like in my mind, this is the equivalent of you went from 0% chance to 5% chance. You know, maybe 8. You know,
he went from 2% to like 8% chance. Like
maybe 0.2%.
Okay. You know.
Potato. You know, all that stuff.
That's not to say that Arata was the 92%. It's just.
There was a sizable chunk of those percentage points that's just Chihaya by herself with
Chihaya
Karuta.
by herself with Karuta is
And that's
still
just,
like the
you know,
lion's share of everything, you know.
Nah, I don't know. But I think that basically what we have going on with Chihaya is a really fun thing where it almost feels like the what a character wants versus what a character needs type situation, but not quite. It's where basically what she wants is Karuta, right? But the other part of what she wants is she wants to be able to play Karuta with other people, right? And so there's these two people in particular.
How you play Karuta.
No. Like she wants, because she could play Karuta with strangers or at societies or tournaments or whatever, right? But she wants to be going on this journey with people that are close to her, right? And the main two people that are close to her in this Karuta journey are Arata and Taichi, right?
Yes.
Now here's the issue. Here's the rub. Here's the conundrum. There's a love triangle going on.
Yes.
Right?
She's unaware of.
That she is unaware of.
Yes.
She is our, thick-headed harem protagonist, basically, right? Equivalent
And she's also
in this situation.
Hinata.
And she's also Hinata.
Our orange-haired, exuberant about the sport and cares about nothing else.
Right. And so I think it's something where, as a result of getting better at the sport and, this whole journey that she's going on with these people, and Arata's going to, come back into the fold of that, it's also going to become the thing of them coming to understand each other better as people, right? And also then growing as individuals and all that good stuff. And as a result of that, the big way in which Chihaya is going to grow, I think, is going to be in basically emotional awareness, right? And that was kind of set up, I feel like, in the season 1, where it's I didn't realize how the pressure that I was putting on people was actually like, negative, right? Because they didn't have this crazy passion for Karuta that I have. And so I feel like that's where it is going to be, like, there's precedent for the whole romance of things to be fully brought into the forefront. It's just gonna, be a slow burn to get there.
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay.
And I'm just saying that that's the point to where most of this actually has nothing to do with her romantic relationship. It is primarily about her getting more and more in line with Karuta and getting excited about doing this with other people. And the side characters are the only ones actually developing the romantic side of things right now. And the only stuff that we've seen really, like, recently with progressing this side of things has been Arata being alive, like, having a pulse in the story, existing. And then also Taichi's just amazing efforts as being himself in this, and it's starting to actually like have some, not just obviously it has value, but I meant starting to have something in a way that is stirring Chihaya, and then having a season 2 start with I'm the relationship character come in, and bless you, Sumire. I know there's no hope for you, but it is kind of fun to have you in this story, and I almost feel bad for Akihiro or Tsukuba or whatever his name is, because he's so forgettable.
Yeah,
in context of what this story is about.
This story is Karuta plus relationships, not necessarily romance, but relationships, and he is just Karuta right now. But the thing is that Sumire being brought in, she is both the commentator and she is also the, hey, we're going to tell you what's happening with Taichi in emphatic terms without saying that it's Taichi that it's happening to.
Oh yeah, because she got her eyes on Taichi.
She has her eyes on Taichi, and
She
comes
sees
in and
everything
says,
in his sphere.
oh yeah. And she comes in and she says, oh, I have no shot.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to go after him anyway. And I'm pretty sure Taichi even said basically the same thing about Chihaya, right? Maybe not as emphatically as that, but it's we know what the situation is there. And now, so as we progress further and, get into the rest of season 2 or season 3 or, something like that in a maybe theoretical season 4 in the future, is that something where that's being highlighted so that then we can have it diverge and change and, Taichi does have a chance? Or is it
well, no, things already are changing. I'm talking, again, there's a difference between the story changing and Chihaya changing. I am talking about the fact that the story is already moving that direction. Chihaya is not changing, though. That's the difference. Chihaya is growing. She is growing up in Karuta.
Yeah.
But she is not growing up in relationships.
Yeah, not really.
At all. Or if it is, it's so infinitesimally small of the focus that it's not actually what the story is focusing on there.
Right, and I guess Taichi's hope is that it's if the rock at the top of the hill starts to budge a bit, maybe that's the thing that is the beginning of it starting to roll. But, it could also just be ground shifted underneath it a little.
Yeah, it could be absolutely nothing.
Right.
But, all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.